Hey guys, just wanted to let you know that we've hit one of our Patreon goals recently, and so we're going to be selling some merchandise hopefully by the end of the month. Our next goal is to create our first full-length documentary on YouTube. It's at $350, but we're confident that with your help we can make it happen. And later down the road, I'll be able to make this my career at $500 per video. Just remember that you can pledge as low as $1 a month by setting a limit on how many videos you want to support. Thanks, enjoy the video.
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you.
June 6, 1944, perhaps one of the most iconic dates of World War II. It was on this day that the Allies began their thrust into Axis territory, taking the war to them, and thereby commencing the liberation of Western Europe and destruction of the Nazi regime. Today, exactly 74 years after the Day of Days, we recall the Allied incursion into Normandy with harrowing details by putting you in the boots of Private Benjamin Alvarado. Trained at Camp Fannin in 1943 and shipped to England in April of 1944 on the RMS Queen Mary, Benjamin was assigned to the most gruesome of all D-Day landing zones, Omaha. The following content is from his memoir. Our ship, Samuel P. Chase, was the first to move out, crossing the English Channel. The water was choppy, the deck was awash with vomit permeating everywhere. I stayed on the bow of the ship most of the time, looking ahead. It helped me from getting seasick. We had been moving for 3 days, which seemed a very short time, the distance about 70 miles. I was not anxious to get there. We finally stopped. All the ships were finding their positions. It was very early in the morning, cold, dark, and foggy, with a little drizzle. The water was choppy. I could not see the land even though we were only 11 miles from shore. The drone of the engine stopped. It was quiet. It was now 5:30 a.m. when all hell broke loose. All battleships began firing. Over 5,000 ships filled the waters. Planes filled the sky as far as one could see, all headed in one direction. The noise, indescribably deafening. Continuous firing from our ships, salvo after salvo, coupled with the drone of our planes bombing the beaches. Never in all the training I went through was I prepared for this. It was time to go over, grab the rope net, lift my leg over the side, hang on for dear life, 60 pounds on my back. The rope net swung in and out as the ship and the Higgins boat struggled to meet, 20-30 feet down. We managed somehow to embark into the Higgins boat with the help of the men that were already there, steadying the net. The boat was full, the motor started, the boat shuddered away, and away we went, up and down the waves. No land in sight. Go toward the noise and flashes of fire. We were under the swooshing sound of our big guns, 12 and 14-inch shells trumpeting awesomely, cutting the air above us, almost lifting us out of the water. My heart was pounding out of my shirt, as though my life were being sucked out. It was horrifying. Our boat was zigzagging, trying to avoid a direct hit from enemy fire. Our officer, who was standing nearest to the ramp on the right side, shouted to the coxswain, "Go toward Easy Red, Easy Red." As we approached the beach, the Germans continued spraying our boat with machine gun fire. Our boat went as close as it dared. The ramp went down. Our officer jumped into the water, hanging onto the ramp. He extended his hand, stabilizing us as we went in. I was the third one out, water up to my chest, holding my M1 high, pushing the water with my legs, trying to keep my balance. I was numb with fear of what I was about to encounter. It was early dawn, foggy, smoke covered the beach, flashes of light, rumbling explosions. German artillery, mortar shells bursting around us, bullets whizzing by. At the waters, I tripped over several dead GIs. My hair stood on end. I ran as fast as my legs could carry me through the smoke and gauntlet of enemy fire, running erratically, avoiding GIs that had fallen. I ran toward a bluff that had a slight overhang where others huddled. We were wet, scared, and trapped, all in a state of shock. Nothing was said. We made room for each other, mirroring our fear, unable to encourage each other. Pausing for a moment to contemplate, I realized the improbability of my ever going home again. The invasion continued. Sand and smoke sprayed upward as the explosions hit the beach, barbed wire and landmines everywhere. As our men scrambled frantically for safety, a lieutenant made his way running toward us, looking as though he had just come out of a storm into our little sanctuary of protection. Now we were ready to do what we trained for. Our group, the 1st and 2nd waves of the 1st Army, were ready to move up. The lieutenant warned us, "Watch out for those landmines." We went through a small opening that had been made in the barbed wire. When we reached the top, I felt we had broken loose from the trap. Not looking back, keeping my eyes open for any movement, I could see where the Germans had entrenched themselves, and were now dead. The shooting continued as we scampered to our places of protection, roadside ditches. The Germans were beginning to surrender as they saw us inching up towards them, crying out,
"Kamerad! Kamerad!"
Benjamin made it through the Normandy gauntlet and went on to fight alongside his regiment. It was thanks to his actions and those like him that the Allies succeeded in securing the beaches of Normandy. From that point onward, the Nazi regime's days were numbered. If you're interested in the Normandy invasion, I recommend you check out our other video called Would D-Day Have Failed Without the Airborne? Thanks for watching, and a special thanks to Joshua Haverstock for researching this episode.